So what we're gonna do, just to kind of give you guys a little, I guess, cognitive map, if you will, is I am gonna be showing June. Since you've been with me before, you're gonna see some of the rooms we've been in, but you've never seen them with the decorations, and I've never specifically shared the stories that I'm gonna share today. So we're going to just kind of, I want all of us to feel like we have stepped back in time and we're guests of William Hearst during Christmas and kind of give you a feel for what that would have been like.
Cool.
And we are headed right into the house. So, DJ D, what we're looking at is the country home, which is not a country home, but it's what he called it, of William Randolph Hearst, largest media mogul in the entire world in the 1920s and 1930s. This house is located on top of a mountain overlooking the Pacific Ocean. We'll come out and look at the view a little later. But he invited hundreds of people up here over 28 years that he was building this house. Wasn't up here every Christmas, but when he did come up for Christmas, he made sure that he invited a bunch of people up to enjoy it with him. You're looking right at the front door. Wow. With its nice little Christmas wreath. We all would have been going right through that front door to enjoy the Christmas festivities. And we're going to take a little side route today because there's some pretty amazing art right behind that front door. You guys, look at what a beautiful day it is today, by the way. We'll come out and spend some more time looking at the clouds because I've just been in awe of these clouds today. But ultimately, okay, let's travel back 85 years. So all of you would have gotten a phone call, maybe something a little more formal like a handwritten invitation, but probably a phone call inviting you to spend Christmas up here. And so you all would have boarded a train, most likely in Southern California. Maybe a few of you were lucky enough to get invited to come up on the airplane because there's a landing strip at the bottom of the hill. But none of you really would have been expecting what you were going to find. You come to a cattle ranch, and you certainly don't expect to find a 68,500 square foot building on top of a mountain. And so we are going to head just right inside to what was called the Grand Hall, or the assembly room. Thanks to John's handy dandy tripod that comes up
Thank you very
to
much.
my height. Thank you very much. Do you guys know that the reason we're actually able to go live, I think you already know this, but I know you're already fans of VirtualPhotoWalks. But the reason we're able to go live from Hearst Castle is because of the generosity of John. I never had the ability to go live from here before because I couldn't get the equipment. And John was kind enough to donate this phone that I'm using, the tripod that I'm using. I just got this awesome camera thing that I need to figure out. But if he hadn't donated this stuff, we wouldn't be doing this. So it's pretty cool. All right.
Yes, John does very good work.
Yes, he does. All right. So we are set up, stationary. Let's take a little pan around. June, you're going to get your holiday fix at this point. So this great room was it's kind of like what the living room is for most of us, where living rooms are usually where we're, setting up our Christmas tree. He did celebrate Christmas, even though he was not a very religious man. He celebrated Christmas, and many of the guests remember that there would be two towering trees, not just one, but two. And so we've got one in the corner of the room here. And as we slowly make our way around, you guys are about to see the biggest fireplace that I've ever seen. Santa Claus having no issue getting down that fireplace.
I'm glad to see we all believe in Santa.
Of course. Oops, I'm still working all this out here. But as I mentioned, not just one Christmas tree, but two Christmas trees.
I don't know if you know this, but how tall are the trees?
The trees are about 16 feet tall.
Bigger, but way bigger than my fiber optic tree that I have.
Yeah, it's bigger than any Christmas tree I'll ever have. That's for sure. And you know what we're gonna do is you've gotten a glimpse of this. We have another tour that's already in the house. So behind me, I am going to. I think we've got a little gap between this tour and another one behind it. So I'm just going to head into the dining room and tell you some stories about the dining room first, and then we'll come back in here. This is Dave. This is one of the most popular state parks in all of California. And especially during Christmas time, you can tell why. It's people really love to come up here and get to experience this place because it is decked out.
I love
So
that dining room.
I know, right?
Mhm.
Especially just seeing it from even this angle and just
Yeah.
seeing as it, I don't know, there's something very makes you speechless, I guess.
Yeah.
And you guys, as we're using our imagination, so think, let's just pick the year 1933, and that's a year that William Hearst did spend Christmas up here. And you think of what's going on that year. Um, 1 out of 4 Americans doesn't have a job, even though a lot of the guests coming up here are probably um, more on the affluent end of things. The depression hit everybody, and people are coming up here, and um, they might they might not have a lot of hope or faith in good things to come, because not only are we in the middle of the depression, but we're also starting to have some very difficult things happening across Europe, and the future of the world might have seemed a little intense at that time. And you come up here and you just feel like you're in some weird little wonderland. um, I'm going to give you guys a little detail of the Christmas trees. Now, obviously, his were decorated a little bit more fancy. These are not the original ornaments he had, but we try to decorate um, as accurately as possible to what decorations would have been available. But in the 1930s, most people don't have a lot of money, so they're decorating maybe the day before Christmas, on Christmas Eve. They're decorating with very simple things, like this is where popcorn chains decorating your Christmas tree came from, or making snowflakes out of old magazines because it's all you had. And that would have been kind of a typical way to decorate in the 1930s. And then you have William Hearst. Even up here in the musician's loft, let me set this down so I can go ahead. So this up here is the musician's loft, and this is where bands would come and they would set up here in this loft, and they would play music for everybody as they were enjoying their meal below. And we're going to turn it around. Would you guys like to know what you were having for dinner tonight?
Yes, indeed.
All right, let's give me a second. I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera around.
How do you like that tripod?
I like it much better than the one that came up to my knees. Makes me be able to do a lot more, that's for sure. All right, so let's take a little walk back, give you a chance to kind of get a full view of everything. All right, I actually do have a real menu here. It's not the real one from 1931 or 32 or 33. It's been copied on paper, okay? So you know. But it is from, this is from a Christmas in 1946 and 1945, which are 2 other years that they spent Christmas up here. And kind of speaking of, one of the things I love about this house is I love the era that the stories come from. I mean, 1945, 4 months earlier, we had ended World War II with the atomic bomb. I mean, you think about the things that were going on in our country. pretty incredible. Excuse me. But so, as guest of William Hearst, ladies and gentlemen, for lunch today, June, tell me what you think of your lunch. For lunch today, you were starting with a salad. You then were having tamales, tortillas, frijoles, veal cutlets, some noodles, lyonnaise potatoes, buttered carrots, corn, fruit, and ice cream for dessert. So you're pretty well fed around here. Lunch was served at 2 o'clock. So breakfast here was always buffet style. It was from 9 to 12. That allowed guests to wake up when they wanted to come down here casually, and whenever they would sit down, a server would come out and serve them their made to order breakfast, whatever they preferred. But lunch was at a set time. You would come down here, and if you didn't come down here for your dinner or your lunch or your breakfast, you weren't getting served. There is no room service here, which a lot of people are surprised to hear about. They think that William Hearst would have, of course, served room service because there's people like Cary Grant here and Betty Davis and Jean Harlow and people that are used to getting what they want when they want. But at Hearst Castle, there was no room service because William Hearst wanted you to make yourself a part of the experience. He didn't want anyone to think like they were at a hotel and they got to just isolate themselves in their room. So for dinner tonight, dinner was served at 9 o'clock. So I hope you guys ate as much as you possibly could have eaten at 2 o'clock because you're not getting dinner till 9. And our Christmas Day dinner was roast ranch turkey, and that would have been turkey raised on the farm here. He had a poultry farm. He also had a dairy. He raised his own beef. So everything that was served at this dining room table behind us was grown here on the ranch. So we had roast ranch turkey, a dressing, some cranberry sauce, giblet gravy, Brussels sprouts. Yuck. June, do you like Brussels sprouts?
I was raised on them, so yep.
All right, well here, then
I love Brussels sprouts.
The
all right,
best
well,
if you cover them with gravy too.
Really? Maybe I'll eat them if they're cooked with gravy.
Yeah, you cook them so they're soft, and then you cover them in gravy, and that's perfect.
Throw them in the dog's dish, and he won't even eat them.
Because you're not cooking them right.
Well, I was gonna say, if we're playing make-believe, and we're pretending we're all at this table tonight for our Christmas meal, I promise DJ and June, I'll send you my Brussels sprouts under the table because I'm not eating.
I shall accept them.
That sounds good to me.
All right, and then we're gonna have to, you know what, John, I'm gonna give you a quest. You're gonna Google what rutabaga is because I don't even know what rutabaga is.
June will know.
June, what's rutabaga?
It's like a if I remember correctly, it's kind of between a spinach and a parsnip, if I remember correctly.
Well, we're having that too. And then we're having my favorite, we're having some mashed potatoes. Got to get our starch in, right? And listen to our dessert, which is my favorite. I loved how well they did dessert here. And I think I've shared this with John and June. I think I've shared it with you before that Marion Davies, the hostess here, she loved ice cream. And I like bringing that up because here's Marion Davies at 5'4" and 115 pounds. Everyone thought she was curvy, which I just think is ridiculous because 115 pounds is nothing. But she loved to eat ice cream. And, you know, in her beautiful little Hollywood actress figure, she would challenge people to ice cream eating contests at this table. And she actually challenged Howard Hughes to an ice cream eating contest here, apparently, and she won. So our dessert tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is some pumpkin pie, which seems very appropriate for the holiday, and also ice cream cookies. Yum. My two favorite
Mhm.
things in the world, cookies and ice cream. The movie tonight, because even on Christmas Day, he would show a movie. And I think I might have told you a little bit about this. He has this huge movie theater here, and he would have movies brought up on a daily basis from Hollywood. So it would be one guy's job to literally drive 4 hours from Hollywood to here to bring up the latest movie. And a lot of times these movies were being showcased for their very first time here at Hearst Castle because the producers of the movies probably realized that if William Hearst liked the movie, he would advertise it for free for them. So it was kind of a win-win deal. You send your movie up here, you premiere it at Hearst Castle, and maybe William Hearst would talk about it in his newspapers and you get free advertising. All right, you guys, are you ready? We're going to head back into the main room. I'm going to tell you some stories in there. Let's do this. Give you guys a
Oh,
better.
wow. Can we
Yeah.
shake a few of those presents?
Well, I hate to pull the curtain back, but boxes are empty. But
Yeah, I
what we're here
kind
to
of figured.
do today is I get to tell you about what would have been in those boxes. And there's this beautiful quote. We're going to set it up right here. There's this beautiful quote. Can I read you guys a quote? I have a bunch of actually things I wanted to read you.
Yeah.
Now we have some time. Frances Marion. Do you guys know who Frances Marion was?
It sounds familiar.
Give her a look. She was actually a screenwriter, and she was pretty, as popular as she could have been for a woman in a man's industry in the 1930s. But Frances Marion, she came up here quite often around Christmas time, and she said, just going to read this whole thing with you guys. She said, now at Mr. Hearst's San Simeon Ranch, there would be the usual preparations for Christmas. They never changed. The pattern was set. In the baronial hall, a towering pine, once the monarch of the forest, glittered with 1,000 jeweled eyes. At its base lay a mound of packages, all wrapped in variegated tissue paper and tied with gay ribbons. Turkeys, geese, and suckling pigs were carried into the vast kitchen, redolent with the spicy aroma of plum puddings, mince pies, and Christmas cookies. There could be no real Christmas spirit without children present, said Mr. Hearst. Automobiles still climbed the spiral road leading to the castle. One came from the most fashionable dress shop in Los Angeles, filled with boxes containing imported gowns, luxurious furs, and lingerie. Bring all sizes, Marion Davies ordered. A second car was heaped with a display of leather goods, silver accessories, gifts which would please the most discriminating masculine taste. A third vehicle, usually an armored car, came from a jewelry store, for there were always last-minute presents to select, and Mr. Hearst wanted to keep on hand quite a large collection of gifts, so no one could possibly be overlooked.
Wow. Now, those boxes are not empty. It's on at midnight on the 25th. They'll likely be full of presents. You see, you got to feel the magic, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, there you go. I like it, John. Well, and then look at some of these gifts. Let me not make sure I don't break anything. But check these out. Look at this little doll, June.
Oh, wow.
I know. I saw that was the first thing that I saw when you brought the camera around.
And many of these, like the dolls are 1930s, 1940s. This old scooter, John, this would have been your present.
Oh, for
Had you been a
sure.
little boy here. Look at even its metal wheels.
Yeah, I see.
That'd be dangerous.
And then, right, exactly. And perhaps over here, we're not falling down, but hey, it's between you, me, right, and the walls because no one's here.
Exactly.
Here's
Exactly.
what I'm doing. I gotta show you guys this.
Oh.
This is our world.
I think we just broke a bunch of rules. I think we just broke a bunch of rules.
Oh, she's my kind of girl.
That Wurlitzer piano is still played during our night tours, so that's how I know
Oh,
that I
that's
didn't break any
wonderful.
rules. And I do not know how to play these songs on the piano, or else I would. Maybe I'll learn some songs for our next program as I go rogue and start playing the piano. Okay, so you guys, now I'm going to tell you a few more stories, and I want you to imagine this. So, what a lot of his guests, so they talk about the incredibly lavish gifts that he would give, and he did. He gave some incredibly lavish gifts. Apparently, as that kind of memory from um, Frances Marion suggested, she would have truckloads of things brought up here, and oftentimes they would lay out all of the jackets and the fur coats and the things like that in this room, just to kind of look at what they wanted to purchase. And but it's not just about the guests. William Hearst was incredibly generous to his staff, and on average, your yearly salary was about $1,100, and he would give you bonuses that were worth over $400. And that's pretty incredible, considering that you're getting almost a quarter of your annual salary for a bonus.
Wow.
So he would invite all of the staff to come up here for a big Christmas party in this room, and the staff were welcome to bring their kids. And everybody would be in here in this great hall, and they would be eating ice cream and desserts first. And then each tree, the one in that side of the room, would have had gifts for all of the girls, the young girls. And the tree in this side of the room would have gifts for all of the young boys. And one of the staff members, this man that Steve Ziegler, he was a taxi driver, and he remembered that his two girls, one of them ran over to one of the trees, the girl tree, and she grabbed a doll. But his other daughter ran over to this tree and grabbed a bicycle. And it was a boy's bicycle, and it was the boy's tree. And apparently, William Hearst pulled him aside later and said, Steve, why don't you let your daughter bring that gift home with her? But when you have time later, go to the bike shop in San Luis Obispo and pick her out a proper girl's bike, and I'll pay for it. But just this was a pretty generous man, and it's not a side of him most people thought about.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Yeah, it is. We're gonna make our exit. Hi guys. We've got a lot of people looking at our beautiful decorations. Here. Hi guys. Yep. Do you guys want to wave to Canada and Kansas?
Hi.
They're waving back at you. Enjoy your tour. Taking things to a whole new level, Butterill. Have I ever taken you guys upstairs yet?
No.
Okay, hold on. Let me put my stuff away. Let's see. But this is pretty cool. So we're in the stairwell, but if you look down, there's the refectory.
Oh.
There's a shot. You're crystal clear.
All right. Let's keep going. 1928 Otis elevator. It still works today.
Oh, that's nice.
This is where Calvin Coolidge's wife got stuck, our past American president. She apparently was stuck in the elevator for a few hours. No one heard her because there was always so much construction going on.
Oh dear.
So she ended up entertaining herself by singing and whatever you would do for 2.5 hours in an elevator. And
where are we now?
We are in the library.
Oh.
Oh.
This library has 4,000 books. Many of them are first editions.
As soon as you put the tripod down, it gets really clear. So just let it rest on the floor.
It's amazing.
Give you guys a pan around of this room. This room is probably one of my favorite rooms here. Just because of the books. I mean, 4,000 volumes. Many of the books in here are first edition. Look at this ceiling.
I know, I was looking at that.
This is an Italian coffered ceiling that's about
Well,
400 years old.
Zoe said to say hello. She couldn't make it today, and I'm gonna be so mad that it's gonna be unbelievable.
Well, please tell her I say hi when you speak with her next, and we can, now that you know we can do this again.
Yeah.
She just might not see the Christmas decorations.
Actually, we could do just one whole show on the library.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
Heck, here, you want to know how we could do one whole show in the library? Wait till you see this.
Oh my.
Oh, wow.
What do you guys think these are?
Ming.
Any idea what they are?
No idea.
2,300-year-old Greek vases. He at one point had the largest collection of ancient Greek pottery in the United States. Currently, the collection we have is about 2,000, or I'm sorry, there's about 200 pieces left.
Amazing.
Oh, yeah, I can see now. See it now. Yeah.
Incredible.
And these, you know, this is what, when I'm giving a tour of this room, I have people all stop and look at the titles of the books. So let's do it. Can you guys read that?
Yeah.
An artist in the Riviera. And these ones up here are history of art in the Renaissance.
Oh, wow.
So here's William Hearst, who is not, a lot of people think that he just was absent-mindedly collecting art and not putting much thought into it because people think his collection is so random. But he studied art. He knew what he was doing. These are pretty funny. These are ancient cups. If you look at them, there's no way that you could set that cup down. So these cups would be filled with wine, and these would be used for drinking games.
Wow. So drinking games went all the way back to ancient Greece.
Yep, and you think about like Greek society and what we think of as fraternities now, being the Greek society, and you know, they're just sticking with history, man.
Yeah. Well, I shan't tell you what they reminded me of.
We might have to have a conversation after the program, June. Now I'm really...
I did say the word. But...
All right, I got to show you guys this real quick. I'm off the tour carpet. This marble vase.
It's beautiful.
It's from the 2nd century AD, or I'm sorry, BC. And when we had our 6.5 magnitude earthquake here, this vase slid off the table and shattered. And our collections department had to put it back together again. And so when you look, I don't even know if I can show you guys this. Nope, you can't really see, but when you look inside the vase, you see that it's shattered. But you imagine thinking about that. We had a 6.5 magnitude earthquake here, and the only damage was about 6 pieces of art, and that was it.
Right.
Amazing.
And we were only a few miles away from that. The earthquake was centered only about 2 or 3 miles away.
That's an incredible room.
I might send them my Victorian writing desk set that got broken during a burglary. It's the only full set that I've been able to come across so far, but now it's damaged.
Oh. Here, I hear another tour coming, so I'm just slowly taking advantage. I'm going to give you guys kind of the full perspective of the room because it's We'll start here.
You'll have to try that wide angle lens attachment from Camkits.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yes, that would be absolutely pretty cool. So would the fisheye in here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the fisheye. We had such fun with that in Japan.
Really?
Yes.
You'll have to tell me more about, because yeah, I was just playing with it yesterday and trying to figure out how it all works.
Well, we'll do a practice session, but if you have the fisheye on now, you'll be able to see the whole room.
Crazy. All right, well, since we're pushing the envelope, you guys think this room is cool, which it is. It's probably one of my favorite rooms. How about? So these are all his newspapers. These are all the papers that he owned.
V-Day, Victory in Europe Day.
Well, and think about it. This is why he was able to be so powerful. You know, ultimately, because across the United States, he was really responsible for a long time of kind of putting out news in the perspective to be put on it.
He could make or break people, really.
Yes, he could. Now let's push the envelope one more time. This is the sitting room.
Okay, you really got to learn to use the fisheye lens, because
that would be incredible in there.
Because that would be mind blowing. I think she finally.
This is the sitting room of his private floor. So we're now on the third floor, and we're in his private suite. So this is where he stayed. This was his sitting room.
Incredible.
And
this would have been a great guy to know.
Yeah, he would have. It would have been it never would have been a dull day, that's for sure.
No, it's very eclectic.
So this is called the Gothic Suite. And all of the art in this suite is predominantly from the Gothic era. Kathleen, you can come in if you need to. Okay.
Can you go behind his desk as if you're sitting at his desk?
He didn't have a desk. I'll show you how he worked. We're not even in, we're in his bedroom right now. I'm going to just walk into the bedroom real quick with you guys. This is his bedroom.
Oh. Oh, I need a new bed. Oh my gosh. I need a new bedroom.
Feeling.
Yeah. Wow. But if that bedroom's as dusty as mine, then I don't think.
No, we've got a huge collection of people that help us take care of everything around here.
Could you send one for Christmas?
Right?
Just to do my room, I'll be quite happy.
There's some artwork.
Isn't there some?
Wow.
That relief carving is amazing.
Mm-hmm. This is a French chest that's about 400 years old.
That's incredible.
All right, let's go check out his office real quick. This is his office.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And this isn't even really, it's hard for you to get a full perspective. We'll take a little walk.
Yeah, if you had the fisheye and the wide angle there, we could. That room's just made for the fisheye.
You guys look at the ceiling.
Definitely.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
I'll have to edit this just so Zoe can see it. This is amazing. Can you imagine going up there and
Oh,
being,
Call of the Wild. Oh my gosh, that's one of my favorites.
yeah,
Me too.
A
In
Christmas
June,
Carol?
I know that is a first edition.
Wow.
And that is a first edition Christmas Carol. All right. We're going to take a quick, we've got tours everywhere. So we're going to quickly.
What a room. Can you imagine
He
doing
did
the
not,
business deals in that room?
John, he did not have a desk. He would work everywhere in this room. He would work on this giant table. He would have all of his newspapers driven or flown up here every day, and he would scatter them across the floors of this room, and he would move around each paper apparently with his feet, and he would flip pages with his toes, and he would have a stick with a red pencil at the end. Let's see, you guys, just give you an idea of how far up we are.
Oh.
This is epic. Don't drop your phone out the window.
All right, and I'm not even telling you, you guys are getting a quick glimpse. So what we're walking into, they're called the Celestial Suites. And they are suites that were made inside of the bell towers of the home. And
Wow.
William Hearst told Julia Morgan that he wanted bedrooms inside the bell towers. And so she had to drop everything and figure out how she was going to put bedrooms inside bell towers.
Wow.
So everything you guys are seeing is kind of something that she never even planned for. She just figured out how to do it on the fly. Okay, we got a tour, so we're being quiet.
Oh, DJ's back. We're in the bell tower, DJ.
Got that door.
I know. Okay, you guys, are you ready for this? Here we go.
Hey, John.
I got it, DJ. Don't worry.
Okay.
So not only did they put balconies out there too.
Yep, balconies on 3 different sides.
Oh goodness! Can you imagine sleeping up there?
No, this would have been amazing. And right above the chandelier and the custom ceiling right there, it's the 2,500-gallon water storage tank where the water is all stored that is gravity fed from a mountain spring 5 miles away using the exact same technology and innovation as the ancient Romans when they carried their water to their different areas of their empire. Julia Morgan copied them exactly. And the water is stored above the ceiling in 2,500-gallon tanks, and above that are 18 carillon bells that still ring every day. Let me get up for a second. Oh, sorry. Tell me when you're going to take a picture so I don't move too
Can
fast.
you get a view out the windows?
We'll try, but I want you to see this. This is pretty interesting. Look at the sense of humor that Julia Morgan had.
What is it?
Just look at the different animals.
Oh, okay.
You know, she made an iron grilled gate with a rooster and a rabbit. Let's see.
That's cool.
There you go.
Let me get a screenshot of that. Got it. That's incredible.
All right. We're going to go. So, of course, right, any good suite has to have a sitting room in between the 2 bell towers. So, we're going to go sneak a look at that real quick.
Oh, wow. There, June, there's your view.
Yeah.
Wow.
Still goes out to a balcony out there. I've been outside before. You can't have a fear of heights going out there. And this is the sitting room. Let me just let this sit down for a quick second so we can let the camera still. There you go, John.
Oh, goodness.
So you have a painting above the fireplace. That fireplace mantle is 800 years old. And above the fireplace is a painting, an original by an artist named Merson, and it's his interpretation of the rest on the flight to Egypt. And this painting was purchased by William Hearst in his late 20s. It's academic, so it's from the late 1800s, and it doesn't fit because almost everything in here is supposed to be Renaissance or Gothic. And we have these two paintings in here. We have this one. Let me see if I can get you a good angle without the glare.
That's good. Very.
And then we have this one. This one's very well known.
Oh yeah, Napoleon.
Yep. And these paintings have gone to exhibitions in museums across Europe, and they come home here. And rather than being hung on a white wall, with stanchions and security guards like they are in any other art museum they've ever been to, they come back here and they're hung in this room. And we're going to make our way down.
What an incredible tour you're giving us.
Oh, you guys, the bells are ringing in the bell towers. We got
That would wake you up in the morning, wouldn't it?
Listen. Could barely hear it, right?
Yeah.
Yep. That's because there's a 2,500-gallon water storage tank up there. All right, we're going down.
This is incredible.
I think it's absolutely amazing. I just love it. Thank you ever so much, honey.
You're very welcome. I'm looking forward to doing a lot more stuff with you and VirtualPhotoWalks in 2017. And we're going to get off the hill and we're going to go explore more of the Central Coast as well and see different state parks and, give you guys a chance to fall in love with this area as much as I have. I want to read something to you guys. I first want to show you this, which is a copy of a famous marble sculpture, but it depicts Mars, the Roman god of war, with his shield, his attributes like his shield and his sword. But then you have Venus, or I'm sorry, Cupid, the god of love. And so this sculpture really is depicting the battle between love and war and who wins. But there's one thing I want to read to you. So I'm going to set this down and a daily editorial basically called In the News. And most of them were not signed by the author, but it's very clear these were in fact personally penned by WR himself. And here's an excerpt from one of the columns. This was written in a newspaper dating to December 16th, 1941.
Oh, God.
So that means only 9 days after Pearl Harbor was bombed. And this is what he had to say. He said, this is the Christmas season. Give generously, give helpfully, give lovingly. Do not give as a formality, as an empty custom to those who do not need gifts. To them, a Christmas card with an expression of goodwill is sufficient. It is the remembrance which counts, the kindly thought, the pleasant word. It is not the weight of jewel or plate, or the fondle of silk or fur. 'Tis the spirit in which the gift is rich, as the gifts of the wise ones were. And we are not told whose gift was gold, or whose was the gift of myrrh. Give so that others may live. Give to make life worth living. And remember the old Sanskrit proverb, when death softly closes your eyes, all you can hold in your cold, dead hand is what you have given away.
Perfect.
Pretty amazing, you know, and he, I think, would be quite proud to know that 3,000 people are coming up here today to experience what he was able to give away.
Yeah.
So with that, very, very, very Merry Christmas,
Okay.
June.
Thank you.
Big California hug coming your way. John, big California holiday hug coming your way.
Coming back at you.
I can't wait to see you guys in 2017.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll just stop.
My
the
pleasure,
recording.
June.